I think that so many times we like to say that we are not engaged in this toxicity, right? Well, because I don't want the toxic relationship, then I'm not a toxic person, but yet you still have the friends who all have toxic relationships, and when you're talking about it, you still engage in those conversations and you don't give uplifting energy. You talk about, yeah, cuz Tyrone is that type of dude. And at one time I was dating Mark, and Mark was like, da, 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 da. And so it's like all of these things, right, that we like to sit here and we like to say that, oh no, I'm not this toxic person, but yet you still are around the same toxic energy. The thing about it is, when you're trying to manifest, so you want to sit here and you want to write in your manifestation journal and you want to manifest these things, but you can't seem to get it. Why do I always keep getting the same thing? I keep getting the same type of relationships. I still keep getting the same type of friendships. I'm manifesting this. I'm getting the same type of jobs. My jobs are toxic. My relationships are toxic. All these things keep coming into my life and they're still toxic, right? And that's because you don't understand what energy actually is, and what you are actually emitting is what comes back to you. You can do as many affirmations if you want to, but if there is no feeling behind the affirmation, it doesn't mean anything. Yes, your words do have conviction, but if that conviction is like literally the feeling of that, right? So if you say, I am worthy, but you don't feel worthy, then it doesn't matter what you just said on that wall, because that is not going to manifest in your life. What's going to manifest is the feeling of when you said, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy. And then you went out and then you settled for a relationship that was something that was not deserving of you, that made you feel unworthy, right? And then you emitted that energy and that frequency out of, man, this man treats me like, like mess, like she treats me like crap. I went to this friendship that they don't, call, they don't check up on me, they don't do anything like this. So all of these things and all these feelings, even though you may be sitting there affirming 100 times a day, it doesn't matter, because what you actually emitted outwardly was that I don't feel worthy. So that is the same thing when it comes to being intentional about the things that you want in your life. If you sit here and you watch a show, there are all these reality TV shows. There's all these, when you go on Instagram and you see all these things, you actually have feeling behind it, right? So you watch this show. Yeah, maybe I don't go out and fight, pouring drinks and flipping tables, but at the end of the day, it gives you some type of excitement. That excitement and those chemicals that are being released into your brain are actually being emitted out into the universe. They're emitted out into the world. So now I'm bringing more chaos to you. So I'm bringing around situations where you have to argue, fight, cuss, spill drinks, and maybe not like, literally, but you have to emit that same energy. So that may be in your relationship. So your relationship is toxic because you sit here all day and you listen to the music that tells you to go, and that these dudes ain't this, or that these women ain't this, and you listen to all these things, and then you go and you have these conversations with your friends and you're like, oh yeah, it's this, and even though it's not this, I'm still talking about it, and you're confirming. And when you go to your friend and you have something happen to you, you go to your friend and you're like, yeah, because why so and so just played with me? Why everybody always think I'm somebody to play with? Everybody want to throw their little da. And now your friend is backing you up. So now that is heightening that feeling. So instead of saying like, I just want people to just leave me alone, I just want people to just let me be calm. It's like, yeah, well, I gave you a situation where you could have been calm. Well, you showed that you are calm, but yet you reacted to that. So you know what? I just sent more people your way who are going to show you exactly who you are. And we get upset when we see us reflected back to us. Instead of saying, I just said I'm working on being calm. There's a person who's right here who isn't calm. Instead of looking at that like, people want to play with me. Oh no, I asked for more calmness. I asked for less attitude and things like that. So now here's my chance to become, you know what? I see that this is going on in your life. I see that this is your issue. That is your issue to take on. I'm going to still be positive and peaceful as much as I can. Still showing boundaries and not just letting people walk over you, but just understanding that you give your power away when you allow people to affect you that much. You shouldn't allow people to have that much control over your life. Like, they should not have that control over your life. And they have control over your life when you give them your emotions and your feelings. When just off them cutting you off or anything like that happened today at work twice. You give your energy off when that happens, when you get upset about that, and now you're trickling that onto so many other people, and now everybody is just feeding off of this same low vibrational energy. And that's what happens in the world, and that's what happens with, when we got into the society of social media and everything being broadcasted. Yeah, there is a lot of good in the world. There are a lot of relationships that are amazing, right? There are a lot of relationships that are beautiful and kind and good, but the moment that you focus on the relationship that is not, that is what is being curated to your viewing. That is what's popular, right? Because everybody is lacking love. Everybody, nobody is faithful, nobody is trustworthy, da da da. And it feeds off of that, and you constantly keep saying that, even though you're saying that. I know that there are some people, because I was doing it too. Yeah, there are still some people out here in the world who are very trustworthy. There are people out here in the world who are loving, who are committed, who will treat you nice. But the thing about it was, I was still consuming information that still talked about these people in a negative way, that still talked about how there wasn't any loving relationships out here, that still talked about how there wasn't any loving friendships and people like this. And the moment that I interacted with these relationships, well, with these, videos or pictures or whatever, these stories, and then I go ahead and I have conversations with people who only do anything but confirm it. So it gives me that, if you ever paid attention to yourself, you will notice that you will start like getting hyped up. Like, yeah, when somebody agree with you, you're like, yeah, now I'm hyping. Now I'm like, yeah, that is true. See, let's remember that. And that's the thing, like, we have to remind ourselves over and over and over and over and over again that, like, at the end of the day, you have a lot more control over things that you think that you don't, but you do. And when you actually give yourself the permission to fully change, you will start seeing the beautiful things that you want out of life. You can't do that if you're constantly trying to be around the same energy, because that is where your comfort zone is. But you don't understand that because you're still around these same spaces, then it is still feeding and picking away, because I'm still integrated into these conversations. I'm still listening to the music. I'm still going out to the club. Yeah, I may not go ahead and do these things and engage in these activities. So I may, we going to the club, and we just going to the club because I want to listen to the music. But now you're still wondering why you have the toxic relationship. I'm not a toxic person, but why do I still have the toxic relationship? Because, well, 3 of your friends have toxic relationships. You hang out with them all the time. You keep that type of conversation up all the time. And on top of keeping that conversation up, you listen to the same music that tells you how this is, and you agree with it because it comes from a place of you knowing where that comes from. So you're always confirming that. That's how I was with, like, the broken-hearted girl music. I will always listen to that music from a little kid, not even experiencing a broken heart, but because I was around women who had experienced heartbreak and pain, they listened to that music, and that embedded in me that I manifested those type of relationships before I even was old enough to even like be in these relationships. I was manifesting this type of love for myself. So when I got in it, it already felt familiar because of the energy that was put behind it, the energy that, the women in my family had already embedded in me, that, oh yeah, it's already going to be this, it's already going to be a broken heart. And then I wanted to listen to it because I felt like we always said, it's like, it make you feel better. It make you feel like somebody can relate to you. Like, when I listen to this, it made me feel better because it's that confirmation. It's that ego driven that, like, I'm not the only one. And your ego needs confirmation. Your ego needs something to confirm it. And that's that little piece of narcissism that is in us, that is driven from our ego of like, yeah, you are right. See, remember when I told you that everybody's bad? Remember I told you that? Remember I told you everybody's going to hurt you? When you listen to a song that says everybody's going to hurt you, and you listen to 10 songs and they all just said the same thing, just in different keys, you're like, see, everybody hurting. On a subconscious level, you're being confirmed of like, see, everybody be hurt out here. There's no love out here. There's no love. When there is such an abundance of love out here that you literally just can't even fathom how much love is out here. You can't even fathom how much like just joy and happiness it is out here when you tap into it and tap out of being in your ego. Now that is a, thing that's easier said than done, but at the same time, you have to start putting in the effort to do it. You have to start really showing up for yourself and showing yourself that like, I can get out of these conversations and actually elevating energy when it comes back to you instead of matching the energy that you are shown. If you are matched with low energy, low vibrations, do not match that. Uplift that, elevate that. I don't have to be at a spot that you are at because you are there. I can understand that. I can feel for that. I can put myself in your shoes and have the empathy. But I don't have to take that on as that is naturally me and take that on and leave here with that. I can take that in as showing empathy, but I'm just leaving it at empathy, which means that, darn, this is something deep that I also feel. I can feel your pain, not just, sympathize with you. I truly feel this, right? And it's like once you have that empathy, you allow that to release. So no, yeah, I understand you've had those broken hearts, and I have too. I have the empathy for it. But at the end of the day, I'm kicking in alive. I'm good. Like I'm chilling right now. So there's no need for me to dwell in that state of deep sorrow and grief, because I'm past that. I don't want to be there. And I don't want to call that energy back to me, because that is how the universe responds. It doesn't matter how many times you say what you want. What do you feel that you want? What are you feeling? And once you understand that these things are actually controlling your reality, and then your thoughts are replaying that over and over again to actually give you more of that feeling. So yeah, you may not be around that, but at the end of the day, okay, yeah, I'm not around these people and I'm not around these toxic relationships or whatever. But yeah, I went and I listened to that music. And though that music gave me a thought. And from that thought, I had an emotion. And from that emotion, I just brought more of that to me. All of this takes account. But you really have to understand that how much your emotions are emitting these frequencies. How your emotions are keeping you stuck in these cycles, and you are giving away your power every time you sit here and you get upset and you match this energy. Your thoughts are just thoughts. What happened to you in the past, I know. And this be triggering to people because they want to stay in victimhood. They want to stay in that hood. Let that hood go. You deserve better. But victimhood keeps you at a cycle where you don't have to grow. Because I can keep saying that, like, that happened to me and that's the reason that I am the way I am. So accept me for me. Grow from that. Let's match energy of high vibrations. But if we're not going to get that, because some people are just not going to give you that. Some people aren't going to be happy people. You're going to meet those type of people in life. You're going to meet people who are just like, I just have an attitude. You're going to meet people who are not going to like you. You're going to meet that. You're going to meet people who are not going to like you. Simple as that. They're not going to like you. They don't care how much you smile, how much you laugh. They just don't like you. They don't care to like you. They don't care to smile. They don't care. But the thing about it is, elevate that energy. When you are met with that energy, I don't have to take this energy on. That's your energy. I'm having to match it. You came at me with attitude. I'm still coming at you cool, calm, and collected, because what you do does not affect me. That affects you. That's your life. I'm living my life. That's your life. So be aware. If you're constantly in these same repetitive cycles, but you like, I cut off the boy, I cut off the girl. Yeah, but what are your conversations still? What is your energy still saying? What are your thoughts still saying that is putting you back into that energy, into that space of still calling this toxicity in? And at the time, because if you're used to it like we all are, and we see it so much because we think that it's fun, our body doesn't recognize it as something like, that's not something I really want, until it's like you're in it, you're super toxic. But when you watching it, you like, it gives you a sense of like satisfaction, until when you in it and you crying and you sad and you miserable, and now you're like, I don't want toxicity. But when you watching it, it's funny. When they putting it and showing it like this, and they are, oh, it's funny. It's not funny. It ain't funny. It ain't joyous when you in it. So yeah, that's just the message today, to just be aware of the energy that you're actually emitting, and let's just stop matching energy, and let's actually elevate the energy. So yeah, I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.